All right, we are live. All right, so I'd like to welcome everyone to Tuesday Night Talks. We're here with Franklin Township Police Department. We're doing this Tuesday Night Talk. It is our way to just have a discussion with the Franklin Township community about relevant issues that are happening in Franklin Township and beyond. Um, and if this is your first time joining us, while you're here, we try to give you some relevant information as it pertains to the township and the police department, as well as news and upcoming events. I'd like to introduce our panel here today. Of course, we have the Public Safety Director, Lavella Mayweather, who's on the line, and myself, Captain Sean Hebben, the officer in charge here at Franklin Township Police Department. We have Captain Lloyd Fredericks, who's who's here as well. Um, Detective Lieutenant Gregory Price, who's going to be giving us information regarding some crime prevention. And we have some special guests, Officer Manny Rios and Nicole Crowley from the Bridgewater Bridgeway Behavioral Health Services. Sorry. They are our newly formed Arrive Together program, and they will be giving you some information about that. So we have all of that coming up here. We welcome your questions and comments along the way, and please feel free to put comments in the chat. We will respond to them as we get them, and we appreciate all your feedback. Once this broadcast is done, it will be here, so please feel free to share with anyone that you think could benefit from this. And I would also like to tell everyone to please stay connected with us on social media, where you can find out more about this particular Tuesday Night Talk, as well as all of our programs that are offered through the Franklin Township Police Department, and there are many. So I'd like to start off today by just the one welcoming everyone, and just let's get going with talking about some of the crime prevention that we have going on. If you have been following us on our social media and looking at our press releases, you will see that we had incidents that were happening in New Jersey, as well as other areas of throughout the state of burglaries. Burglaries are on the rise all over, and Franklin Township has been working hard to do its part to keep our residents safe and keep our homes protected. Um, it's a when it comes to crime prevention, it is a partnership between the police and the community, because it's important that that our residents and people that are in Franklin Township do their part to help keep themselves safe and the community safe, and assist the police department with getting this done. It's an ongoing process, and we will always keep you informed and try to keep the most information out there, so that you can help get your homes and everything as secure as they can be. I'm going to ask Detective Lieutenant Gregory Price to just give us a little information about some of the things that are happening, as far as things that we could do to better protect our homes within the township, and to keep it in a state of not being vulnerable to any kind of burglaries or anything of that nature. Detective Lieutenant, can you give me some more information on
Yes, thank you, Captain. One of the biggest things that we see in town as far as securing homes, number one, if you have the ability to put an alarm system in your house, it is a good measure in keeping your home safe, as well as putting in cameras, whether they be wired cameras or the more popular wireless cameras you see out there today, like Ring would be an example. Uh, Having the proper amount of lighting around your house, both inside and outside. Um, Short end is bad guys don't like light. So if your house is lit up, it gives people less room to maneuver in your house without being seen. That being said, landscape also is a very attractive feature to a house, but also it could be properly maintained and cut away from the house so it doesn't offer places to conceal you. And again, you could properly light your landscaping. Uh, a very important measure as well is the use of timers. They make automatic timers that go on at various times. So if you're not using a room or a bedroom at night, putting a timer in that might go on and off at various times gives the illusion that somebody might be home. Um, this week is Super Bowl week, and as you know, one of the biggest times of the year to buy new TVs and electronics. If you do happen to buy those types of packages, cut up your boxes and throw them away, or maybe staggered if you can't get them all at one week during pickup. Um, don't be afraid to know your neighbors. Try to be as friendly with you can with your neighbors. If you know you're going to be away and you trust your neighbors, have them look after your houses. You might want to stop your mail when you're away, or stop off with your Amazon package. A lot of people have that automatic delivery service, and you might get packages when you're away, and they can sit on your front porch or your side door for some time, and that's a telltale sign that nobody's been home. Moving on, vehicles in town and all throughout the state and country as well. Remove valuables from inside of the car. Remember to lock your doors at all times. Remove your keys. A lot of people leave their keys in their car, and what we see not only in Franklin Township but across the state and the world, people will just go up and try to pull on door handles. If they pull on a door handle because they see you leave some loose change inside your car, they might try to start your car. And if you leave your key in the car, that's just a free invitation to take your vehicle. And most importantly, I know we live in the this is now age. A lot of people like to post to social media. A lot of people go on vacation and choose to post that they're away and I'm checking in and, Aruba or Jamaica. Well, if you're not friends with certain people on social media and it's public, you're basically inviting people to know you're not at home. And unfortunately, data is out there on all of us. It's just a matter of clicks. If you want to look up somebody, you could, with minimal work, you could probably find out where somebody lives and resides. And you don't want to be able to tie that information with your social media showing you're away or you're going to be away for some time. And another, before I go, don't be afraid to notify the police department. If you're going away, you can call our dispatch center. They will put in a vacation check for you, and our officers will know to perform additional vacation checks at your home to check in on it if you need that.
Yeah, it's all very important information. I know you had touched on people having cameras. So, like, what happens with that footage? Let's say I have a camera in my home, and I see something on my camera that may be relevant to help the police department find someone that that burglarized my neighbor's house, or I see someone that approached my door, and I find them suspicious, and I want to get that information over to the police department. Is there a mechanism in place to that I could send that video?
Yes, Cap. Actually, we have an email specifically set up for that. It's anonymousftpd@franklinnj.gov. You could email information and/or video submissions to that, and a representative of the agency, most like a detective, will reach back out to that person and send a link through our evidence submission portal, which is Axon. And that it's a very user-friendly link. It can go sent right to your cell phone and/or email, and you just have to follow the prompts. That video footage will then be sent to the police department so we can review it for any criminality if there's anything suspicious, and we will definitely look into it. We also, as an agency, just joined the Ring Neighbors platform. We don't monitor it 24/7, but we try to stay up with any suspicious activity, any quality of life concerns, any safety concern are going on with the community. And it's not uncommon for members of the investigative division to reach out to people regarding those concerns.
Yeah. And as I mentioned before, this is not an issue that's connected specifically to Franklin, even though we have had incidents here that we work on and actively investigate. What's the relationship like with other agencies and things that other entities that are also being affected? Is there any kind of cooperative relationship that's happening there?
Yes, sir. We have agreements, and we consult every day with our local, county, state, and federal partners in ongoing crime trends, any kind of suspect contacts, suspicious activity that may have a nexus back to our town. But every day we are currently working on these types of incidents.
Okay, great. All right. So, and I just want to, the police department is actively out there. We're going to be continuing to be vigilant and do things that need to be done. I'm going to turn it over to Director Mayweather, who I think has some additional information.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to let the Township of Franklin know that we are doing everything to keep everyone safe and to be proactive about burglaries and thefts and other crimes that happen in our township. So never think that we are not working on it. Our officers, you may have seen them, they may have knocked on your door to tell you, um, about your lighting, about your cars being unlocked. We are doing that not to harass you, but to make sure that you are safe because we do not want anything to happen to you and anyone else in our community. So, that being said, just keep in mind if you have any questions, you have any information, you see something, say something immediately. Call the police. You're not bugging us. That's what they're there for. That's what we pay them for. That's what I expect them to do. And they're doing a great job at it. So I want to segue into Arrive Together. That's another one of our proactive initiatives. When I first became public safety director, we promised you that we were going to address mental health. And I will tell you this, as soon as I heard about Arrive Together, the Attorney General was beginning the program, I said, I want in because I recognize that there is so many people, that are experiencing mental health issues these days. It may not rise to the level where the police have to be called, but everyone has to deal with something, especially since COVID. And I just want to make you aware of special services that we have. We have Detective Rios. We have our one and only Nicole. I think Nicole has become embedded into the police department in more ways than she could recognize. I don't we don't want her to go. We recognize she has another job to do, but we want to keep her. So Nicole is the boss lady, but she's been working with Franklin because we're that important. So I just want to make you aware of these services. Take it away, Detective Rios, Nicole.
Good.
You want to start?
Good.
Well, I'm Nicole Crowley. Thank you for the introduction. So this program has been very exciting to me. December 1st of 2023, we started doing this full time. And so I am employed by Bridgeway Behavioral Health Services. But now, so this has kind of become an expansion and extension to what we kind of already were doing at the Psychiatric Screening Center. And we've really, seen the difference in regards to mental health calls when we are, have a mental health person embedded in the police department. So Officer Rios, my partner, and I have kind of, taken this on and, are experimenting every day with what works and what doesn't work. And it's been a success, even so. I guess I should backtrack. So we go ride in cars together that are an unmarked police car. We dress in plain dress clothes, and we respond out to, first and foremost, any 911 mental health emergency calls, but additionally are doing follow-ups and check-ins with, throughout the community. And I think just seeing the response, the reaction to the community when they see us, arrive in a car together, seeing that we are a team, and, it's interesting and it's been great to see the response from the community. And, I think people are now realizing that mental health professionals and law enforcement officers are, can work together. And, we've had a lot of positive experiences. We're definitely busy every day. So I don't know if you want to jump in and.
No, as she said, it's just an alternative response. That's exactly what the ARRIVE stands for. It stands for alternative response to reduction, intervention of violence and escalation.
There you go.
So that's what exactly stands for. We're just giving an alternative response. As she said earlier, we have people who, who are in crisis and struggling with mental health and don't want the police involved directly. And they don't, they have no idea what this program is. And Nicole tends to get a lot of calls through referral agencies, and we still respond. And she's very transparent. Hey, I have an officer with us, and she kind of gives the breakdown of what the ARRIVE program is. And I can tell you the response has been overwhelmingly great. that they have this. We're constantly like, oh, we're so thankful as you guys coming. But again, a lot of them don't know that most of us, a lot of the department is already trained in crisis intervention training. This isn't just me. However, I'm just the chosen one to spearhead the program since we did it. But a lot of us are trained in this. The good thing is that when we go there, I have a mental health specialist with me, and Nicole, who's awesome in doing this. So it's just an alternative response to how we respond to these calls.
And I think,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, I just wanted to put emphasis on, I think it's, the relationship between the officer and the mental health worker is really important. I mean, we are constantly, briefing and debriefing every single call and learning a lot about each other's, lingo and each other's profession. And, Officer Rios is always asking me, like, what is that diagnosis? And, and I'm testing him with certain words I use, just stuff like that. We're learning each other's worlds, and it's really a cool thing to see them kind of collide.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Detective Rios, about other officers are also trained in crisis intervention, because our goal is by 2025 to have all of our officers trained in crisis intervention, and the police academy is embedding crisis intervention training into the police academy. So new officers will come into the department already trained. And it's so important that, we recognize that it's important. It's very important. It can reduce so many things, and we just want to help people. We don't want to put people in jail when it's more of a mental medical emergency than it is a crime. Gone are the old days of doing it that way. And kudos to both of you. You work well together. I want you to be the example not only to our officers in our department, but the officers in Somerset County and the state of New Jersey, because I know the two of you do it right.
And we want to thank you for spearheading the Arrive program. I know like you said, when you heard about it, you were all for it, and you've been nothing but supportive, giving us all the tools and support we needed. Not only with you, the whole command staff has been supportive. So we thank you. And trust me, it's paying off in the community. So we thank you for spearheading the program. And we're the first in Somerset County, so that gives us a little more oomph.
Yeah, I mean, a credit to Franklin Township Police overall. I mean, they've really taken this program and kind of run with it, and it's made my job a lot easier. Getting the buy-in from the police department is, half the battle, and you guys were already there. And, even just getting the patrol guys to recognize what this program is, and they're the ones out on the road, and they're realizing, oh, this could maybe use some support from Manny and Nicole, and we're out there, if we're not already hearing the call on our own. So it's really, a team effort in getting this program going, and it's been really
I was impressed last week when, I will say this, a bunch of executives and, without giving it away, executives involved, we were sitting around kind of rubbing our heads, what should we do? And then I think it was Detective Lieutenant Price said, Detective Rios and Nicole are in. We're like, oh, really? Call them. and and they did. They came in and handled it and got us what we needed right away. So I really do appreciate that, more than you know. And in Franklin, let me tell you, we would have not a lot in comparison to some departments, maybe 24 or more use of force incidents. And what we looked at was 80 to 90% of those were mental health calls where, we had to restrain someone, not to take them to jail, but to get them to the emergency and to get them to the PES unit. And right now, I already see the numbers being reduced. Sometimes that's necessary. We're not trying to hurt people, but, you have to restrain them so they don't hurt themselves or others and get them to the hospital, get the help they needed. But just having them and having the tools that the officers are getting, the new training, we've seen a reduction in those incidents where we actually have to restrain people, which is great. That's what we want. We don't want that.
And just kind of to piggyback off what you said, and I know we kind of touched on it earlier, just to let the community know that even though when we're not around, just to feel comfortable, a lot of our officers are trained in crisis intervention. So don't fear, if you're not getting the Arrive, that you're probably going to get different treatment. Again, a lot of our officers are trained. They're awesome when they get there. And if they can find out an alternative way to get you guys going, they're there to help. And they also email me and say, hey, these people might need some linkage for services. So they're always in connection with me, whether it's them or the supervisor sending me stuff to say, hey, can you follow up on these people? It's another part of the program that we do as well. We follow up on a lot of these things. It's not like we come here and if we weren't around when, someone's in crisis, we don't know about it. We come back and we follow up and try to help out with services and a lot of things that people don't know, that these services are free. That's another thing. So, don't fear if you don't have insurance or anything like that. A lot of these services that we're offering, especially that Nicole has, are free of services.
Captain Heaven, take it away.
Yes. All right. Well, that's great. That's all very great information. Look, it's I'm proud that Franklin has taken this on. I think it's great for our town. I think it's great for the residents, and it's just another. It's almost like another tool in our tool belt when we go out there on calls to have something else that's there. Some couple years back, we brought the whole Community Relations Bureau, which was a different aspect of services that we offer beyond the norm of police work, and this is something else that's really stepping out of the box of regular patrol and investigation. And I think it's something that is the future of policing in a lot of ways. So it's great that the director actually gives us the ability to try these different platforms to policing and really see what things will come of this. These are all new things, and as they come up, you don't know what the end result's going to be, but having the courage to try them and bring them into the town and see where they go is half the battle, and how you move an agency forward. So I thank her for her leadership, and I thank all of you for all that you have done in your respective areas. So I'm looking here to see if we have any questions. I have one that I'm going to address here on the back end on the chat, but other than that, I don't see any specific questions.
So, I do kind of want to address that one. So someone in the chat made a comment that the police should never tell a resident don't cry when they call. And, I'm not sure if that was the exact, wording that was used, but if that's what they said, there's a better way to say that. Sometimes there's an ongoing investigation and our officers are not able to share exactly what's going on. They should have been a little bit more comforting, telling you, we were just checking the area, looking for cameras or evidence, and you were safe. Or ask you what address you were what was your address, so that, okay, it was a quote. So ask for your address so that the officer could come to your house and talk to you. So I am sorry that happened. Don't pry is not the exact terms that we train, but soft skills are teachable moments, and we will make sure that our dispatch or the officers that answered that call will answer appropriately in the future when residents are calling, because we're in the area and we might be looking for investigative clues. Okay, that's usually what's happening. Oh, he was outside your house. Okay. Well, in the future, if you call and the officer was outside your house, were you able to speak with the officer? I know the person is talking back and forth, but on the chat, I'm sorry about that. If you were able to speak to the officer, and I will tell you this, if you speak to an officer and you don't feel you're getting that level of customer service that you want, you can always ask for a supervisor. There is a road supervisor available all the time. Okay. So always keep that in mind. If you're not getting the level of service that you want, you didn't get the proper response that you desired, ask for a supervisor to come to your house and they will do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yes, we will follow up on that. All right. So do we have anything else that we wanted to remind? Captain Fredericks is on as well. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add It seems like
Yeah,
he's
I was
out and
gonna have
about.
Captain Fredericks give a perspective on some of the patrol, some of the patrol things that we're doing just to kind of help
Okay,
everyone safe.
I'm going to sign off. I'm
Okay.
going to say good evening, good night to everyone, and I will leave it in the great hands of my command staff and Detective Rios and Nicole for any follow-up questions. Okay?
All right.
All right, take care.
Take care.
All right, Captain Fredericks, take us away.
Yes. Okay. So on the patrol side, almost everything was covered, touched on lightly. But on the patrol side, you probably see stepped up patrols, meaning more marked vehicles. But we also have unmarked vehicles out there that you probably won't see. Also, we'll be using a lot of technology to help us out here with these burglaries as they're occurring. Um, to see something, say some mantra is absolutely important to us. You have to let us know if you see something so we can get out there as fast as possible. Some people are concerned about our response time. There's a patrol car in every area. And when we have these stepped up details, we have detectives and plainclothes officers out there, so our response time is pretty quick. Also, you have to remember that once you make the phone call to the police department, even though you may be speaking to our telecommunicators, the officer has already started making their way over to the location of the call. I also like to remind citizens of the town to program out our non-emergency number in your phone. It's 732 Program that number into your phone, label it Franklin Township PD, FTPD, whatever, so that we're a push button away. Also, if God forbid there is an emergency and you dial 911, if you leave your cell phone open, because most people have cell phones open, we will uh, pinpoint the phone call from the cell phone through the cell tower, and officers will be responding to your house as well. Um, just to touch on crime prevention through environmental design. Remember to I know Detective Lieutenant Price talked about it, but remember to light up your home. Also, remove your garage door opener from inside of your house. I'm sorry, inside of your car, and bring it in the house. Most modern cars, you can program your opener to the vehicle itself, so that when the vehicle is off, it cannot open the garage door. Also, use all garage doors have locks. Use that lock on the garage door when you go in for the night. I know it's a matter of convenience and everyone wants to be able to just hit the button and fly out, but at night when you're home, secure your premises. Those garage door locks make it very hard to open a garage once they're locked. Um, there are small things like the almost like it's like a shower rod. I believe they're called telescoping window bars. You kind of twist it like a shower rod and stretch it. You can use those in sliding windows on your sliding patio doors. They can go vertical, and you can put them in a regular living room window or kitchen window, so that those windows can't open when you're not at home. Um, don't leave the key fobs in your car. I was actually speaking to someone today, believe it or not, and the individual was explaining to me that, oh, I leave my car door open because I never had to lock it. Well, now you kind of got to secure your vehicle because of the burglaries that are occurring. Um, if you all have any questions, Detective Lieutenant Price explained how to send links to the PD. I'm pretty sure you all know we have social media, and we joined a couple communities where you can send information to us, and we would most expeditiously get back to you. You'll also notice sometime you'll have officers arriving to your house or leaving a flyer on your car or at your doorstep if we notice things like an unshoveled walkway, if we notice mail piling up, if we notice that your house is extremely dark. You may be getting a knock at your door from an officer, and they would be explaining to you um, the necessary things to make it harder for yourself to be a victim. Um, I think that's really about it. I mean, I could go on for the rest of the night with information, but that's really the crux of it. My last thing is the Citizen Academy. I always tout that. I think that members of the community should try to join our academy, and you'll get to see the look through the lens of a police officer when we're working. It'll shape your thought process. It'll more than likely let you think a different way as to how the job is done.
Thank you for all of that information. And a lot of people have. I know I speak in various places throughout the township, and a lot of people have asked me regarding, these incidents, and this is some of the cautionary tales that we're telling them with securing their property, and they always say, "Well, why is this happening here?" And like, is the town safe? And the issue is not whether the town is safe. You have to understand why these things are happening to neighborhoods like Franklin throughout the country. A lot of people realize that, in communities like this, we have nice stuff. And so they don't, they come here because our stuff is nice. And a lot of times we, as residents in the community, we tend to look at our environment, and we feel relaxed, we feel comfortable at home, and we feel safe, and we let our guard down. And that makes us easy prey for people that are looking to get things. They're not just going to keep it in whatever neighborhood they're living. They're going to come to neighborhoods where they may have some things that they may not have access to where they live, or they want to go further away from home where no one's going to know who they are. So we're telling you to protect your home, not because we want you to live in a gated fortress, but we want you to just be a little more vigilant of security, and not take our peaceful, quiet sanctuary home for granted, and expose us to having someone take away what we work very hard for. So it may seem like a lot of information, and it may even seem daunting at first, but you do get into kind of a routine of doing it, of just knowing every night before I go to bed, I make sure that my it's almost like I can't sleep without it. Before I go to sleep, I make sure that my car doors are locked. I can do it right through the remote control in my in my house, and I have a little area that I keep my keys that are secured. And I check my doors that we came in and out of, to make sure that they're locked. That's just a security, so that I could go to bed and have a peaceful night, knowing that my house is at least secured. I have an alarm. I make the choice to put my alarm on at night, because I don't, it's, maybe it's overcautious, but I'd rather hear my alarm go off and trigger me to know that something is going going wrong. So it's just different things. You have to really take the information we give you, apply what's necessary to your particular situation, and work together as a community. The best neighbor that you can have is a nosy neighbor. Neighbors that are watching what's going on is actually the best alarm system you could give yourself. Because if something is going wrong and the neighbor is constantly looking outside and checking on things, they will let you know something is wrong. And it may not even hurt some of you guys to be the nosy neighbor. Keep an eye on what's going on, and inform your fellow residents and the neighbors of things that you see that may not be right. And I think it was mentioned here before, get out and get to meet your neighbors. A lot of us live in these homes where we drive right into our driveways or garages, go right into our house, and we've been living in a particular neighborhood for years and don't know who the person is 3-4 houses down. If you know who's in your neighborhood, and you guys are a sense of community where you are, it's easy for someone that is not part of that neighborhood to stick out like a sore thumb. And when that happens, it's that much easier for you to know something is not right here. Let me watch a little more. Let me call the non-emergency number, see if we can get someone to check this person out. That's just being protective of your own community. If the police officers come out and it's nothing, it's nothing. We're obviously showing you we're not trying to arrive in an aggressive manner. We're coming here. We understand police tactics and how to approach a suspicious individual who may be there for a very innocent purpose. We know how to handle those situations. We will come there, check it out on your behalf, and if it's nothing, it's nothing. If it's something that's a problem, then you may have just saved, a lot of your neighbors' grief from being victimized. So please, stay vigilant. Understand, your neighborhood, and who should be in it and who's not there, and don't hesitate to call us. It's very important. Um, I see a question here. Do you recommend I lock my door leading from my garage into my home? Yeah, I do. I do recommend that. Some people, uh, it's I heard someone said that they don't do it because a lot of times they forget that it's locked, and then they go in their car and they start up and they go to hit it and it's not working and it confuses them. There is an alternative to that. And the reason why you lock it is because, like anything, a garage door can be pried open. If that doesn't work for you or you don't feel comfortable doing that, at the very least, every garage door now that every automatic garage door opener does have an internal device on the push button that allows you to lock that keypad so that the keypad can't be used from the outside, and that it kind of deactivates the remote controls from being used. The only time you can you can open that door from the outside if you push that lock button is to come in and unlock that button, and then it'll reactivate everything. So at the very least, I would at least use the lock button uh, on that garage door, the internal garage door mechanism inside that allows you to open your garage door. Right? But I mean, preferably if you can lock the garage door itself from the inside, that is the safest method to secure your home, especially if you're traveling. I mean, if you're traveling, I'd say 100% that's something that you do want to do. All right. Let's see. Do you guys do ride-alongs for citizens? We don't do ride-alongs, but the Citizens Academy does offer the closest experience that you will get to what we do. I mean, it's some really interesting things that academy offers, and I know Captain Fredericks touched on it. That will give you a very clear uh, understanding of what we do here in the police department. It actually touches many different areas of the police department, uh, as far as how our procedures for doing things. We put you in some scenario circumstances, and it's not just a one night class. It goes on for weeks. I think it's like 8 week program, or maybe even a 12-week program, but it's very in depth. The reviews are always phenomenal, and everyone leaves there truly understanding what it's about. And we do encourage you know attendees in the class to actually challenge the officers as to the tactics being used, and see how it plays out. If you feel we're doing something that you don't agree with, we'll put you in that circumstance and see. You can see it through our lens, and then we can talk about it and figure things out. We learn things in that Citizens Academy along with the citizens that are taking it. So it's a two-way process. It's not just us talking at you. It is a discussion, and it's a discussion that's very productive, and it's a great way to learn about the department, taught firsthand by the officers that are in the department itself. Any other questions? I don't see any other questions. My Arrive Together team. You guys have anything else you wanna put out there before we wrap up?
I mean, I guess I will just say, the whole point of this program is, we're hoping that with this setup, this team, that people will be more likely to call for help. We understand that not every mental health crisis requires a patrol car and the lights and sirens, and so that's the idea. Is hopefully, people will be more likely to call us and more comfortable reaching out for help.
Absolutely. Thank you for what you do. Again, it's so needed, and it's proven itself already, over and over again, how useful it is. So we appreciate the work, and we look forward to growing this program together here in Franklin Township. All right. Anyone else? Any last minute thoughts? All right. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Please share this information that you have with your friends and neighbors. We encourage you to tune in for future Tuesday night talks. We're going to try to keep this as consistent as we can on a monthly basis. Sometimes we'll be just providing information. Sometimes we'll be live and entertaining questions. But even if it's not a Tuesday night talk, you can always reach out to us. We have a non-emergency number. If you have anything community related, there's an extension to our Community Relations Bureau, which is our main police department phone number, and the extension is 3124, and that'll take you right to our Community Relations Bureau, where you can leave information as well regarding you need information on our programs or anything that we're offering here at the police department. I also encourage everyone to connect with us on social media. You'll find the most relevant information there and on the township websites as to everything that we have going on at the police department, including all of our Community Relations Bureau programs, information on Arrive Together, things that are happening in the township, news, alerts, everything available on social media. We have a social media team that's been doing an excellent job putting out relevant content to the township. So if you're not part of that community on Facebook and on Instagram, you're missing out. So please connect with that. We also have officers on the Nextdoor platform. So if you're part of Nextdoor, we will be pushing information out. We have reestablished our connection with Nextdoor. We'll be pushing out content on Nextdoor as well. So we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.